day I chose not to let anything win but my drive to get me to the top.
Frank Lee made the beat.
What it do, KTTV? This is KT, and I'm coming at you live with another episode of the DailyK podcast. And on today, we are celebrating our Wellness Wednesday return. And so I wanted to start it off with a special guest, Miss Kendall Tyson from Aspire Counseling and Wellness Center. How you doing today, Miss Tyson?
I'm doing well. How are you, Mr. Thomas?
I won't complain. I'm excited. Like getting back. We have a lot going on in education, and a lot of mental pull on us as we return. So I'm just excited you gave me a few minutes to talk about this today.
Yeah, I'm excited to have the opportunity to, share ways in which we can better be in tune with ourselves and take care of our mental and physical wellness. So I'm an advocate. Anytime I can talk, you're probably going to have to cut me off because I can go all day.
Look, when it's meaningful, sometimes people don't mind listening. So we'll be all right.
Right.
So before we even get started, going through everything, how have you been during the pandemic? How's your family been?
Well, I believe in honesty and transparency. Although I am a professional, there were parts of, living during this pandemic that were very difficult for me, having, I live in China, but having been here unexpectedly for now 9 months, it wasn't always easy. But right now, I'm in a really good space, healthy, mentally, physically doing well. My family is healthy. I was able to be here for the birth of my second niece, see my first niece turn 3. My parents are good. My friends are good. So life is really good right now. I'm very happy.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear so many positives coming out of this for you. So now, I know you said you're in China. And so what is your current role in China? And why did you choose mental health? Like, why carrying other people's problems was something you said you wanted to do?
Yeah, so currently I am a senior social emotional counselor at Dulwich College, Beijing, in Beijing, China. This is the second international school that I've worked with in Beijing, and this will be my 3rd year living and working abroad and doing mental health advocacy. it's been a long time. I think this is my 6th year as a professional school counselor as well. So I'm a professional school counselor. I'm also a licensed therapist and business owner. I worked in the United States as a school counselor prior to moving to China. I was looking for a change. I knew that the Lord was about to move me. I just didn't think it would be clear across the world. But I've always had a vision and a desire to live abroad. So here I am being able to live out this long-held dream of mine and to help other people, with their mental health in an international sense. And regarding mental health, I have always been the person that others have come to for assistance, to listen to, for some advice, or really just to have somebody to sit with them in a non-judgmental way. And I can see that, my first degree is in marketing, but that's a career designed to help people, to listen to people, to tend to the needs of people. So my mom's a counselor. I never thought that I'd go into education, but I'm so glad that I did because so many more doors have been opened. And I absolutely love working with kids. I love coaching people. I love helping people identify their strengths, working through, their mess, and just coming out as a better person. So all of this definitely fit into the realm of being able to help with people's mental health. And a caveat for me was, regardless of what I do, it will definitely be geared toward helping my community as a Black woman, BIPOC communities, because we lack the resources, we lack the awareness, we are riddled with stigma. And I wanted to be able to do my part to kind of, flesh through all of that and show people that we are on the other side of the couch and here to help you.
Yeah, that is awesome. Because like you say, it is something that must be brought to the forefront in our community because there's a lot of people sitting at home going through things. I think about my brother, and he was diagnosed, but before that, I mean, it was issues, and it was like he was ashamed or he didn't really think it was that serious enough to go get that help. But in between then, other people were tore down in the process.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yeah. And I mean, I hope that he's in a much better space right now.
yes. They got him right. So we're just gonna keep on pushing.
That's good.
So this Wellness Wednesday is all about giving teachers strategies to use as we cope on going back into the building because it is happening fast.
Yeah.
And as I was reading your latest blog, what I choose to remind myself is all about educators and the busy life that we have mentally and physically.
Yeah.
As I read it, I was like, man, just thinking about all the ups, the downs, everything that I was going through, or that teachers go through, or educators go through on a daily basis. And so now, as we work to keep students masked up, and then all the safety precautions that we have to take, what were some of the tips in this piece that you gave to help teachers just cope as we return?
Yeah. I know lots of people that are going back into the classroom personally right now. So I understand like the trepidation. I am going back over to China. China's a lot more safe right now, but we're in education because we want to help. Like we love kids, right? We're not in it to become millionaires, but I'm glad that the most recent blog resonated with you. And so some of the strategies that I've shared in that particular piece, starting with one that I'm not sure if I put in there, but it's always something that I say for professionals regardless, is creating a morning routine that's going to help curate your day in a more positive manner. And I can go into detail about that, but the way that you start your day is most certainly going to influence how the rest of your day goes. So when you're priming your mind for success, for groundedness, being rooted in the present, being able to manage your emotions and gratitude, that's going to help you deal with these stressors that are eventually going to present themselves throughout the day. Another strategy or another tip is monitoring your mindset. A lot of the negative outcomes that we experience, they begin in our mind. I mean, as a person thinking that, so she will become. So if we, continue to focus on the things that aren't working, there's going to be more stuff that we notice that doesn't work. So when we notice that we are drifting down the road of what we call cognitive distortions, black and white thinking, fortune telling, things of that nature, nothing's going to work out, always identifying what's wrong, we have to be able to realize and be personally aware of, I'm going down these thinking traps. I need to shut it off. I need to redirect my thinking. I need to do something that's going to help me to stay present, rooted. Let me find what's working in the midst of this situation. And let me identify the thing that keeps triggering this negative response in me. And so journaling about these emotions and things that stress you out is really important because a lot of themes tend to come up as you journal, especially if you're like just doing a mind dump. Or if you just journal about your daily experiences, you'll notice that certain things reoccur. And so that right there gives you a roadmap to, okay, maybe I need to pay attention to this, seek out some assistance in this, talk to my boss about this or something to that nature. One of them is also to stay focused on your situation and not compare yourself to others, which is difficult to do sometimes when you're in the midst, when it looks like other people's stuff is just going smoothly. How did they learn the online platform so easily? I can't seem to figure it out. My kids ain't acting right in this class. My parents aren't cooperating, So whenever we find ourselves in like the comparison mindset, it's really important to remind ourselves of the things that we are doing that's working. You got up today to educate these kids that otherwise wouldn't have it. So, and that leads me into remembering your why. Why are you doing this again? You're doing it because you are trying to help develop and cultivate the next generation of people. And no one said that it would be easy. We know that it's not, but it is a worthwhile and fulfilling, responsibility. And with that, practicing self-compassion is extremely important, and that means going easy on yourself. The way that you will love on someone else, the way that you would speak kindly to others, the empathy that you would give to others, you have to give it to yourself, especially in the midst of what we have going on, because there's so much that teachers are being required to do, that maybe they don't really have the skills and the knowledge and the acumen to fully perform like they would normally. So having the support systems is going to be important. Connecting with the right people to assist them, crafting a community that's centered on compassion and empathy, and honesty and transparency is going to be important as well. I know I said a lot.
And so then, in going to the next point, I think about, I was in a book study one day, and so we were talking about just special education and getting things back to normal with those guys. And so then she said, well, I know that you all are doing so much for the kids. And she was right. We bring in our safe schools, safe and civil schools people, and they talk to the teachers about being empathetic to the kids. And maybe they don't have this at their house. And so how do you get them to use answers by stuff that they may have? So we do all this training. But then when I think about how do I give that same level of attention to teachers' mindset as a leader? In your opinion, what are some ways that I can offer just services to the teachers to make sure I'm encouraging their well-being as much as I'm encouraging their safety?
I'm so glad you said that. Like I specifically, like one of my target audiences, millennial professionals and educators specifically. And I am an educator wellness coach. So even having a principal that is of the mindset, how can I now provide this to teachers? Because this is where trickle down does actually work. When the teacher is healthy and well, the classroom will be as well. So one thing I would say is, having a culture that is focused on not only student social emotional awareness, but adult social emotional awareness. That's the social awareness, the self-management, the self-awareness, responsible decision making and relationship skills, finding ways in which to integrate these and these are the 5 facets of social emotional learning from Castle, but finding ways in which to creatively integrate this type of system into schools specifically for educators. And so ways that you can do that is having, time for them to engage in collective mindful practices. I like yoga. I like Pilates. We have PE teachers. You could invite individuals in, contract them in to do Wellness Wednesdays with your educators that are interested. We know that we have different challenges that we do throughout the year. You could have wellness challenges throughout the year that focus on specific aspects of wellness, be it their physical wellness or mental wellness. I used to be a part of a program when I started teaching in Aldine. It was called the ART program, so Adults Relating to Kids. And what it really was small groups of educators coming together and really discussing what's working, what's not working, and we're benchmarking off of each other's success and providing a communal space to share non-judgmentally how we feel and share resources. So having small groups for teachers, like sharing spaces, and this didn't involve administrators because it decreased the chances that they would be, totally transparent and honest. Now it wasn't used as an opportunity to just complain, but you got the opportunity to share and to glean. Another thing that I think that is important is inviting a professional in to teach about or what we call provide psychoeducation about, what does burnout look like? giving them different assessments so that they kind of assess their present level of functioning regarding burnout, regarding stress, regarding workplace anxiety. And then I'm a firm believer of being preemptive. So you could do staff, what we call self-care plans. Like that can be a part of their, their summative at the end of the year, making wellness. How well did you care for yourself? What were some of the things that you did to tend to your mental health, to your physical health? How were you supportive of your colleagues in this way? So creating self-care plans in a collective sense. Again, you could utilize a small group model. I mean, because we know that people are more apt to be more transparent and honest if they share with a smaller sect of people as opposed to a whole wide group. Doing what you can as the leader to promote mental health awareness and reducing the stigma surrounding seeking help. So you could spend time during faculty meetings, discussing different mental health topics. You could bring someone in to teach about different relaxation strategies, deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, guided imagery. Again, having time for people to work out. There's literally so much that you could do. And I'll stop with this one is helping them to identify like a workplace wellness routine. And like, for instance, for myself, I could come in and speak about what that looks like. How do you craft that? What would be some of the barriers that get in the way of you being consistent and committed to your wellness plan? But I think we know that everything starts from the head. So once you put it out there into the universe, once you talk about it, the floodgates are going to open. Once you give people, like you give them permission, right, to know this is going to be a mental health focused school, not just for our kids, but for our educators as well, you will get people that are interested in heading up what I call like a wellness committee. We have our sunshine committees at school. We could easily have a wellness committee that you let educators run. And one more thing, I know I like to design wellness rooms. So if you could find like a space in the school that you could dedicate to like an area of respite, you have maybe massage chair, plant, aromatherapy, nice music. It's a calming space for them to come in 20, 30 minutes on their break. That would definitely be a tangible, I think that would reap great reward.
But those were some awesome ideas. Like we do have a wellness committee, and so we organize like the sports. But I think this year, as we organize that committee, we are going to go a little deeper. So I appreciate that tidbit. Yeah. So now, as we get ready to land the plane, if educators could only do one wellness tip when they're frustrated, or they have anxiety, or they're afraid, if it was one go-to that you would have them do, what would that be?
Well, there's so many. Mm-hmm. So this is a very difficult question. But what I would say is identify a relaxation strategy that is easy for them to implement, that they get great benefit from, and something that you can do anywhere. And so for me, that strategy would be breathing. It would be what we call either mindful breathing, deep breathing, belly breathing, diaphragmatic breathing. Because when you're in an overly aroused state, it's very difficult to think rationally. We don't behave appropriately. We may not say the right thing. So engaging in this type of activity, such as deep breathing, is going to allow you to, number one, pause. So you're not being reactive to whatever the situation is. It engages your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of your body that allows you to engage in calm, reduces your heart rate, increases your oxygen intake, expels toxins such as CO2, gives you clarity of mind. It's going to help to calm your body. So I would definitely say engaging in mindful activities such as deep breathing, and you can incorporate meditation into that on a daily basis. That, for me, is going to be one of the more high mileage strategies that you can implement anywhere, on the way to work, when you're in traffic in Houston, before you have a parent conference with a parent that is a little spicy, before you engage with your highly energetic class, or even before you have a meeting and you're not totally sure of what it's going to be about. This is a strategy that you can implement that's going to help you to regain presence of mind and stay rooted in the present. The most important thing is just to be consistent with this particular practice or whatever strategy you choose to implement. There's so many relaxation strategies that you can do. It's just to practice when you're not in a highly aroused state, so that when you are, it becomes more automatic. And you want to get other people involved. Like you would want to share, so that you can have a support system, a system of accountability that's going to help you to be a bit more committed and consistent with what you're trying to do. Now, I can give you other ones, but you told me only one.
Yeah. I want them to have one in the back pocket at all times. And so I thank you for that. And so if I want to reach out for more information, maybe I do want you to come in and set up the wellness or the self-care plans for.
Yeah.
How do we contact you?
Well, there's so many ways to reach out to me. First, you can go to my website. That is aspirecounselingwell.com. There's lots of resources on the website. You can also find me on IG and Instagram. That's aspire_counselingwell. I'm on Facebook. It's facebook.com/aspirecwc. Or you can simply email me at contact@aspirecounselingwell.com. There are so many ways in which to reach out if you are in need of support and my services.
I sure appreciate that time today. Once again, very, 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 very great content. Some useful content, practical, that I'm hoping will help someone.
Thank you for the opportunity. We have to always, as I say, prioritize our mental health and do our part to reduce the stigma surrounding mental illness in our community. So.
Yes. And also wishing you safe travels as you get ready to go across that water. Like you said, it may be a little safer right now over there, but
yeah, I'm gonna have my hazmat suit on and everything. So
yes.
It's good.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, and I look forward to talking again soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right. This is KT for KTTV signing out. 100.